Right? Right? I'm sticking to that.
Sure.
Let's take that to a vote in chat.
Are we?
Hey! I think we're live on
Are we?
Steam.
Oh my
Yeah,
See?
we're
gosh.
live on Steam.
Persistence. Oh, we are. Yes. Okay.
Okay. Only 25 minutes late.
We'll run 25 minutes over. Who cares? There's no laws here. There's no rules. Or I'll just play really quickly. All right. So this is because I rebooted it. We can start here if we like back this up to YouTube or whatever or the VOD. So as far as people in the rest of the world know, this started right on time.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. So yeah. So the agenda here is the first game we're playing today is Bonfire Peaks. Have you been watching people play this, Corey?
I watched a couple people play it. I watched John Blow get really mad at it. That was an honor.
I didn't play. I didn't watch that. I didn't want to be spoiled.
No, it's because the end of the demo for the first day it didn't say that it was over. It just said thanks for playing. So he kept trying to get past the thanks for playing screen for a long time.
Oh. Oh, dude, I love people here don't realize this, but I played this game like a year ago, and then again before that, and I'm not like usually the biggest fan of voxels, but I love the new art style you're doing here.
I so committed to it that I won you over.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Well, I actually, yeah. It's pretty.
Apparently, Gwen, you're still quiet.
Sorry. I could turn.
Quiet or non-existent? Did your mic get muted again?
Not sure why it would.
Okay. Wow. Okay, quiet. That's
Just
fine
right?
then.
Okay. Well,
No, the mic in the air is not the mic that's getting. Just put the mic in the headset down so they don't get confused.
yeah, that's just irritating, but we'll go with it.
I
I can't turn me up, but I can turn everybody else down. You guys are blowing up.
Sure.
That works.
And then the chat can just deal with all of us at the same rate. Can you guys hear the music in the game too?
Yeah, I could before.
Okay, cool.
I think it's not focused right now.
Yeah. Okay. Alright, I'll start playing the game for real. I probably won't. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna play this like a game developer plays a game. Where I'm like,
Oh, no, I can't hear it because I had the thing muted because I don't want to hear my own voice.
yes, that would make sense. Yeah.
Just turn the volume up if it's quiet. Just have everyone else deafen you. It's fine.
Oh, I didn't read. I'm sorry. I'm very excited about streaming. I'm not paying attention to the game. Corey, how long were you working on this?
Oh, okay. Now people can't hear the game volume.
People can't hear the game now.
Technology.
But how long I worked on it, this started as a gem version December, 2 Decembers ago, and then it spent like 6 months trying to figure out if it was worth turning into a more ambitious game, and it seemed like it wasn't going to be for a long time, and then it just turned a corner, and with over the last year, it's been a real obsessive labor of love.
Yeah, it's really come together.
It did, and you can probably, I don't know if you both remember, but it seemed for a while there like I was, it wasn't going anywhere, or like it just there were a lot of nuances to the movement or to the rules that just made things tedious or frustrating. And like anytime there were like gotchas in the puzzles, they felt more frustrating than charming or clever. So, but then yeah, I just embraced making the game more sausage-like, and and that made it much better somehow. Yeah, it was really that like tank movement of like that moving forward and backwards as opposed to like turning around when you input in the direction away from the one you're facing in. That made the game so much better and broke like only 1 out of 20 puzzles, and it just was like so clearly the better.
I forget how it used to work.
Yeah, so before, when in the jam version, and for a long time, it was just you instantly 180'd if you turned around. So which has no consequences if you're not holding anything, but if you were holding something, it would just be a like, if you're able to 180, then you would. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to move.
Yeah.
And there was before, you used to like pick stuff up at your chest automatically, and then if there was nothing at your chest, you'd pick up the crate at your feet. And it seems like choosing that way or the other way around is like, oh well, it'll just be barely different, but this turned out to be just so much less annoying. And has similar consequences, but
yeah.
This game is a true story.
Is there? I'm trying to remember. Is there a way to only grab the top one? I guess you shouldn't help me. Shit. Oh, that's serious.
So the true story behind this game is also the same reason why the fire department got called to your house.
Yes.
A couple of years back.
Yes, everybody was understanding. I mean, it took some persuasion, but they all saw it my way pretty quickly. No, yeah, I'm like really sentimental and get attached to physical things, and I like trying to make a sentimental game about getting rid of things. Even like just silly stuff, like I still have CDs, and it's embarrassing.
Corey.
Yeah, that was my cat.
Corey, what's the button to grab again?
Space.
Oh wait, why can't I? Oh, cause. Sorry, I was trying to grab an immovable object. My bad.
Oh, was that my car? Okay, no. I'm sorry, I got my cat on the brain because he wasn't feeling well earlier. We don't have to get into it. Yeah, that's based on a real car. Like all the objects are things that are real to me. But I also want people to just decide what those objects are for you. And how sentimental you want it to be or not, also, because it's at the end of the day, I'm like, hopefully it's just a solid puzzle game and it's not getting driven by what little narrative there is there, or.
That doesn't count. Whoops.
Gwen's burning the wrong box there.
Ah, got it. You can only burn the. Well, I want to burn all the boxes, Alan. Okay. I told you I would take an hour on this game. You were warned.
Just wait until you get to artery. That seems to be the one that people struggle with in this build.
Oh yeah. Have you been watching people play, like, or are you analyzing?
I think maybe I just watched but then I've also seen people, like there's a couple of people posting on the Steam forum who are like, man, this level's so hard.
Let me see. For my next game, I'm gonna have analytics. I'm gonna watch where people stop playing.
Oh, that way is so much work. Like and then you're beholden to the numbers.
Yeah, I would also. I'm sure I would read into them too much and like make foolish design decisions based on numbers that could have been just somebody wanted to have a sandwich in that moment, and then I cut the puzzle.
Well,
Or,
the key
like,
is you get like thousands of people, and then it's like, did several thousand people want a sandwich of the exact same puzzle? That's just a very hunger-inducing puzzle. Maybe that puzzle needs to be less, I don't know, calorie intensive.
it should provide a sandwich or something.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, we can't break NDAs for the hardware that makes sandwiches for you that we're all making games for.
Yeah, we're actually just part of the deep state. We're like funded by Frito-Lay or something. Okay. Is this the trick? Ha. I can play video games. What if I just want to chill at the fire for a while? How did you get these animations, by the way? Like, this is... I'll just let you go.
Well, it's I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name. Do you know, Alan? Zach Soares?
I was assuming it was Souls, but maybe
Soares.
Soleil. Probably not Soleil. But...
Anyways, he's at Voxels on most things, so you know that he's someone we could trust to bring in on this game. But yeah, really fun animator that's normally does like pretty cartoony stuff, but was, and it's still like fairly cartoonishly expressive, but wanted to see if he would be into doing something a little bit more like this. And then yeah, we had the discussion about the Spider-Verse animation and the like low frame rate look, and he was really into that, and so he just animated it as normal, and I'm like forcing all the bones in the animation to update every just 12 times every second.
Cool. So it is.
And yeah,
it's
he
just
wants
like a rigged
to
skeletal
implement.
mesh?
Yep. Yeah, and I showed him Kine for the smear frame. Like, I don't know if it would be appropriate here if there's, and he's like, oh, I was already thinking smear frames. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what he does for that, where that goes.
Yeah, how much are you planning to work on the animations? Because I wasn't sure how much it was like, oh man, this is a super rush job, and what's here is like 50% there, or how much it was just like, oh well, this is basically done now, just more feet.
No, a ton of the animations he made are just I wasn't able to get them in a way that, because the top priority obviously is the gameplay, being able to interrupt animation states at any point, and also for that to look okay. So right now, I just need to spend some time figuring out how I can blend animation states without things looking goofy. So maybe there's like a third of the animations that he made are in the game right now, or there's like special states for like for falling from a certain height, and for things like that. The pickup animation and drop right now is instant, but he made full animations for those. So yeah, it's just a matter of I'm not an animator, so I'm figuring this stuff out. I'm used to moving sprites around mostly, or just like offsetting rotation slightly and having like Monty Python animation.
I mean, you could just have made this game in 2D, just have everything be billboards. That would have been so much easier.
Yeah.
I worked out why everyone is confused by the small pillars. It's because you can see the pillar going into the water, and so it always looks like it's one tile lower, one tile south of where it actually is.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay, so
I had in my GDC talk, I had a couple of examples, and I have a lot more that didn't make it into the cut. But getting in general people to grok 3D space without occluding what's behind you is just a nightmare. It's one of the biggest problems with trying to do like a 3D kind of game like this. Okay, this is the first one where I have to think for a sec.
yeah, that's been a struggle. It took a long time before I gave in on adding camera controls. Just not wanting to have more to teach to the player, but there's no doubt it's not only practical, but it also makes the game feel bigger to me. Like something about being able to control the camera is like, I don't know,
It makes the game feel more expensive. It adds production values once you can move things around a little bit. I mean, you can argue about it. There's different ways to do it, but in general, convincing people that a top-down game is worth spending money on is something that you've got to. There's not many games that do that, right? Like I think of Firaxis as being a company that's very successful at selling games at a very high price point that are like top-down games. And if you talk to the artists there, a lot of it is camera work. Like XCOM has intense camera work. I go back and forth on.
that was all fixed positions, right? Like for each area, it moves to.
Well, with actual
remember.
XCOM, you pan it around, and it's not quite the same as something like this, you know. Like I don't think for Kine, I don't know if. I always thought if I did it again, I wouldn't give you the ability to actually have free cam, just the ability to go between like maybe 4 different spots and just a little bit of camera, like for an intro, having the camera pan in or an outro, or having just a little bit of breathing, like the camera moves a little bit. That does two things. If the camera's just moving a little bit, it helps people perceive the 3D space a little bit better because they're getting that parallaxing. And it also just looks more expensive. But you have to be careful. If you have an actual breathing camera, like the camera kind of moves around a bit, you can kind of make people nauseous. So.
Yeah, there's already I put in a setting for camera floatiness, so that.
Yeah, because this has a bit of a. I noticed that was the first thing when I was like running around. I was looking at your camera delay.
Such a animator.
Which is like, well, I mean, when you look at a game, do you not just dissect it? Like a game that's really similar to what you work on? Like, do you enjoy it? Like, what was the last puzzle game? You said earlier you were playing a puzzle game recently, like last night or something. When you were playing it, were you playing it to enjoy it, or were you kind of like dissecting it and thinking about it as a designer?
Yeah, no, most puzzle games I play and I just enjoy them. And like, I don't know, I probably do nitpick. Oh, this level's too big. Yeah, I was really enjoying the frog game that got posted in Discord. It's like a, yeah, you're a frog and you can stick out your tongue to eat flies, and you can also grab a rock and pull back your body to extend your tongue. It's a really nice mechanic. We're gonna, I think Gwen's gonna play Monsters Expedition, but first Corey is going to play Kine, and I'm not playing anything.
Yeah, we want Ellen to just talk. I think the real thing is because you guys have played each other's games a lot more than I have played your games. Why can't I do this one, Corey?
I don't know.
It's hard to do this while being watched. No, you're not allowed to help me. That's against the rules.
Well, that's the struggle with it. I really admire and appreciate there's a select few like people that stream these kinds of games, and I really appreciate them because it's a vulnerable place to put yourself in to just like have people watching and saying, "Oh, I solved it 5 minutes ago," and whatever. Like the chat's never encouraging.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a kind chat here.
Yeah, the Kine kids are cool.
Yeah, it's.
Oh, I'm dumb as hell. I see it.
Yeah, we should play Patrick's Paradox too. Like we were when we were first talking about setting up this stream. It's like, oh, we'll do these 3 games, and they're all 3D puzzle games. but then we didn't actually end up saying 3D puzzle games anywhere in the marketing for the talk.
Oh yeah, for the talk. Oh, you mean the event? Yeah. Can I?
No, this is a talk. This is all scripted. Believe it or not, especially the first half hour.
Yeah, that was.
Um,
I just played Patrick's Parabox last night, so maybe we'll have you play that one, Alan.
Oh, I've already played the demo.
Oh shit.
I have two, but we can still.
It's the only one I was allowed to play.
Patrick.
We can do Twitch plays Parabox.
We could, yeah.
But Patrick, have any levels made it through since the jam version? No. Just the movement rules just broke those levels, but it makes the jam version still sort of worth playing, I guess. So that's good.
I mean, Patrick, are you asking, have any levels been added since the jam version? Because that answer is definitely
yeah. Yeah, no, none of them survived, except the very first level, none of them survived.
Right.
Corey, give me a hint. I can't do this while also talking to you guys. Like, there's something weird about it. Also.
You can also walk away, you know, that's a huge part of moving forward, is instead of just setting fire to things, you can choose to walk away. You know, to move forward, sometimes you have to let go.
Oh, hey, Corey, your face is now barely there. Gwen, did you move Corey's face?
I'm under the table.
What just happened?
And the camera's with me.
So in Skype, it's working fine. So it's the window in.
Here's Corey.
OBS.
Alright, just leave it like that.
Okay. What the fuck? Oh, there was something about this in the docs too. Hold on, wait. Skype will randomly scale things. There's like a whole just other.
Perfect.
Sure.
I'll try to stare into the webcam to make it extra creepy.
Yeah, oh yeah, perfect.
Like, chat.
Chat asks, were you consciously trying to make the bonfire less scary than the jam version?
No. I don't know if there's an exciting answer to that. Less scary. What was scary? It's like a barely different particle system. It's just cubes now instead of billboard squares.
Select transform, edit transform.
I do kind of want to make the developer is talking at you while you're solving another game. And I also kind of worked out the specific game I would do for it. It's actually a jam game that I made on Train Jam 2, 3, 4 years ago. Time is unknown. And it might not even be on my itch account. It might be on some other person's itch account. So I guess we'll see who has the deep Dracneck lore to be able to find that. But yeah, I think it would be a really fun theme for developer talking at you and screaming wrong
like
every
Bennett's
time.
body.
Yeah.
Scale.
Corey doubles in size every minute. And
yeah, he is. It's really weird.
I don't understand how you don't have control over this.
I don't. It's Skype is just.
This is just.
Look, the way this works is there's a.
This is almost workable.
We got it. The way this works is there's like some thing on GitHub that you have to get, which will like take Skype calls and like output them into multiple videos, and then you install that plugin in OBS, which you then set up with Restream.io. Like, it's been a morning, man. I've been on this all morning. The light behind me is flickering. We're like in a whole different whole different headspace right here.
Don't go into the light.
Yeah. Whatever. This is fun. We'll figure this out and then we'll do better next time. Because I assume you guys will make games again. Alright, what are we doing today? Can I just shove it over? Ha! I knew exactly what to do and it worked. That's very Steven Sausage Roll right there.
Yeah. One thing that one choice I made differently, that on the one hand it was just so that there would be different stuff to explore than the sausage, but is that when you're holding something in Steven Sausage Roll, for the sake of the puzzles, but for sure also for the sake of design, you strafe while you're holding, or sorry, when it's, I don't know if this is a spoiler for chat, but when you pierce sausages, it's a pretty early spoiler at least, you strafe, and that, like, it makes so much sense for having, because I guess, again, this is a spoiler for this game slightly, but barely, that there ends up being strange shapes, and if you have like a shape that can fully turn in 3D space, there's a lot of edge cases you have to worry about.
You need to worry about like the shape and all the possible places it is panning through on the way from A to B.
Yeah.
Well aware.
Yeah, that's something we can get
like
into.
The one tech thing that my game doesn't have to deal with that both of your games does.
Yeah.
In almost every other way, my game is more hassle than both of your games.
Bullshit.
But...
Moving in 3D, you realize I have a character whose arms extend on two different sides, which can then lift both her and the character that's standing on her, which could be any shape, because it could be like the trombone, right?
Okay, oh, that's fair.
As Ian Snyder put it, though, Monsters Expedition has localized time travel, so
it's true. Yeah,
Spoiler.
you have some weird problems. I don't want to diminish that. I'm just saying, like, the shape, the weird shapes on weird shapes rotating through a grid is like a problem space I don't want to be in ever again.
Mhm.
Wait, what is this idle animation? Wait, do it again. No. All right. Okay, Corey. I didn't realize I'd have to think today.
What did you think solving puzzle games was going to involve?
Well, I used all my brain power figuring out how to get this shit set up.
And that's fair. By the way, after all that technical hassle we went through streaming to the store page, want to guess how many people are currently watching on Steam?
Like 0.
Hundreds.
Who?
It's 4 people, and one of them's me.
That's
Hi, Alan.
that's whatever. It's the Twitch community is a nicer community anyway. But now we know how to do it, and knowing is half the battle. What the fuck? Okay, let's think this through.
Also, shout out to my mum and possibly some of my extended family. I don't know, Mum. I don't know why you told my extended family to watch this. It's not going to be interesting for my aunts and uncles, but okay. Hi, if you're watching. If you didn't get put off by the half hour of tech support at the start.
They'll hold on. The Twitch community understands it'll get good. It gets good after like an hour because I don't have the AC on. It's gonna hit 90 degrees. We're gonna get real weird in here.
Right? Yeah. Like 2 hours from now, you're gonna be like, it's gonna be super hot.
And that's when I'll be.
And you're gonna be solving puzzles.
Yeah, specifically yours. Godspeed. Okay.
My puzzles are actually probably in the demo are probably the easiest out of all these 3 games.
Oh, I would believe that. Yeah, I remember because I also played your game like 6 to 8 months ago. Back when I played your game, it didn't have all the like side stuff though. I'm really excited for that one. I want to see what you've done. Because we didn't have narrative.
Yeah,
did that build have any exhibits?
Nope, there's no narrative back when I pweed it. You were.
It's incredible how polished the game's looking now. I guess and we'll get into talking about specific details when the game's up, but just something that struck me, I don't know whose decision it was to have cymbal hits on each undo, but that's such a nice undo sound.
Yeah, that was all Ellie. I wasn't convinced by it, actually. I was like, really? That's a bit much. Oh, actually, so I think so when John Blow was streaming Monsters Expedition, he made some offhand comment about, "Oh, this is Kine now," and I think he was specifically referring to that sound effect.
Oh, I see. That's funny.
Did John Blow get stuck in
really
this
like
puzzle,
it.
or is it just me? Shit. Oh, well, that solved the problem. I don't think you should have to burn your things.
Yeah, no, exactly. See, you've
Just
won.
dump them in the fire.
You
Is the way
Just
you
walk
found
the
away.
real way you win is to walk away?
exactly.
Okay.
That's the true ending.
Yeah. So okay,
The
so
true ending exists in the
if the
demo.
bonfire is getting rid of your possessions, what is the water in this metaphor?
See the all right, my ability to improvise just broke down there. like, okay, wait. So what's something that's obviously bullshit, but that is plausible? No,
No, you should.
Yeah, be witty,
You know.
Corey.
Well, the
stupid.
fire
You have to-
needs to be fed, and the water doesn't.
Oh no, that was good. That sounded deep.
So, Alan, is your family in the chat or just?
I don't know. Family, are you in the chat? I'm assuming my family is watching but does not have a Twitch account.
I see.
How do you turn the camera, Corey?
IJKL now. Currently, I'll add mouse support,
Oh, weird.
all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, before it was WASD, which I feel is comfortable, but that's intuitively also a move around for so many people that
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, my family has just joined chat, so here we
Hi,
go.
Alan's
still in?
family.
Now.
I'm gonna make a cup of coffee then, or the party's really started.
Well, that's a good point. Center of rotation is the center of the scene, not the player.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I need to work on that. It's definitely more awkward in some puzzles than others, but yeah.
I don't know. It felt fine to me, but also I never actually moved the camera that much, so.
Nope.
Oh, here's a nice Easter egg. I don't know, Corey, if you mind mentioning this. There's actually 2 sitting down animations, depending on whether you have whether you've got space behind you or not, which is like really cute.
Yeah, so since you have clearance there, the player like leans back, but if you put a crate somewhere so that you only have one tile of space,
Oh, he leans against it. Well, that's cute. Did you what was the decision to have it be automatically sitting versus frobbing to sit versus like choosing to sit?
Alan talked me into that. Well, it was just like, it's nice to have the deliberate I'm choosing to sit down, but it was really like you walk up to the campfire and you press space twice was just the thing. It just kept being like space then space or whatever. I could map it to their keys, but it felt awkward anyways. And
yeah, I think
and
I would have had it just be like one hit. But I mean, I don't know. Like that's the kind of thing I shouldn't say anything, because the truth is, like, you probably tried it.
Well, I mean, everything comes down to taste always too. It's not like there's, I can tell. I think definitely for animators, especially, not to single you out, Gwen, but it'll seem like, I don't know, why isn't there more emphasis on animating these sequences as opposed to just, it's,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to, efficiency is like the top
Nah,
priority.
I hear ya. I think like the one thing I do have to turn that off sometimes. Like the thing for me is when you hit the edge of the world, I would have, for me, a priority would have been like having something when you hit the edge of the world, so that when you hit it, you're like
Oh
kind
yeah.
of leaning off or something like that.
Oh hey, Cap.
Cat going in and out of focus.
Anyway, sorry.
No.
Yeah, no, I agree. Now you pointed it out, it would be super cute to have an animation for like peering over the edge of the level.
It's not just that. It's just so that every time you hit a button, like something happens, or if you're pressing to hold to move, the fact that you're like just kind of standing there makes the game feel a little bit less responsive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, wait. So what? See, now I've forgotten how to do puzzles. This is totally new, by the way. Back when I played this last time, there was no disintegrating block, I don't think. And I remember.
No, it was, I guess it's like, it's all puzzle people in the past, so we can really get into nitty gritty. But before it was, they would go up one tile,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, what are the interesting consequences of elevators? And I basically exclusively, except for like one or two puzzles, used them as one-way doors. So I was like, why not just have a crumbling block that is more obviously serving that purpose instead of people being like, I didn't understand what the elevator did just then. At least like, I'm Bobby.
We
can hear your
can
purring.
actually hear the purring. I was like way distracted by that cat. That's adorable. How do I separate them? I can't separate them. How do I get them up?
Now let's just cut to the chase.
Oh, this is a better. See, now everybody go buy this game, Bonfire Peaks. You're supporting this cat right here. That cat needs food.
The cat will be in the game. I guess, I don't know, is there the like, can you pet the dog people? Are they there for cats also?
I don't know. I feel like if you had some fictional pet, they would probably go for it. But a cat is too mundane to be on Can You Pet the Dog? I don't know.
Yeah.
The ashes around the edge look human shaped.
You can see whatever you want to see, Joel. And that's, it may seem pretentious that I'm like, oh, it means what you want it to mean, man. But it's like, I really feel like it would cheapen it if I like say, I'm like, well, this is what the game means to me. It would like take away, I don't know.
That cat is awesome.
Yeah, okay. As long as you don't go so
damn
far
it.
with that ideology as Jonathan Blow does, then we're all good.
How far does J Blow go?
He's like, what? Like, couldn't even possibly I will refuse to agree or disagree about anything this game could possibly want to be about. But also, I will jump into your comment section to tell you that I won't talk about what this game is about, if I remember correctly. This is like back from Braid, not even The Witness. So my J Blow lore is a bit out of, it's a bit rusty now. But
I haven't been watching Twitch lately. I'm not up on this shit. On the latest J Blow lore. Okay. So
Yeah.
Okay. Pet the Dog have controversially covered some cats before.
Pet the.
Interesting.
And yes, that is Buzz and Woody.
Does it shore them up if I put this?
They're around here somewhere. This is the couch that's next to Buzz and Woody. It's all here. It's all within arm's reach. The stuff you're burning in the box is all around. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so that.
Sorry, I'm covered in cat hair. It's a very hot day here. It's extra shitty. Yeah, the Disney lawyers are vicious, but can they be vicious about like 12 cubes?
I mean, yes.
Alright, I'll change the colors.
No, don't change the colors.
Should you bring them all? Is that the trick?
Oh yeah, they did like Cross Your Road Disney version
Wait, where's?
at some point. So I wonder how. It's probably like that looks the same.
I can play video games.
I think as long as you don't say on a public channel that's going to be archived that they're canonically Buzz and Woody, then you'll be fine.
Right. Oh, thank God. We'll never do that.
Should I not have done that? I feel like it's too easy. It is definitely too easy, right? Yeah.
Gwen Frey about Bonfire Peaks. It's too easy.
Yeah, it's deceptive. Something's wrong.
I'm having that moment of like, oh, why did I put so many tiles at the bottom there? That's distracting. It feels like it matters, and it doesn't.
Yeah, I did actually think there's a few levels. I think this was specifically the one I was thinking of, where it's very tall and the camera isn't very zoomed in, so there's a lot of white space at the top of the level that feels like it should be zoomed in tighter.
Well, especially since the camera moves with you as you climb, so it's like.
Oh right.
It's made worse.
Mm-hmm. Can you? I guess you can make it so that in some levels the camera follows you less along some axes.
True. Yeah.
Small level police. It's true. I am the small level police.
Right.
I've gone after Dom particularly. So.
Yeah. No. Especially small levels are nice as far as like not overwhelming the player, and like I don't know. It's nice to just have only as much as you need, as long as you're not limiting movement in any unnecessarily awkward way. But yeah, it's especially when there's like, oh, and then there's a couple tiles shooting out here or something that like geometry reads as this matters for the puzzle.
Yeah,
so it's
for sure. Actually, for that level, I don't actually care about the playable space. It was really just the camera focus that I was thinking about. What you said about the space at the bottom, I actually didn't care so much about.
I'm gonna move the
Actually.
like the path with the two obstacles all the way to the right, so that it still does the same job, but it's not in the way visually.
Yeah, I do think we gotta find a way to make the flame pillars workable for those, because I think they'll just look so much better than those white tiny pillars. Like, even though the flame pillars take up more space and will block more of the behind, I just feel like they read better as obstacles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the thin pillars. I think if you had like another way you could do it is just have a whack effect. So like when you were turning, if you saw like what do you call it, like a hit effect from the impact point, that would help people understand what's happening a little more quickly. Have you noticed problems with that though? Have you noticed that people aren't seeing Like, is this a problem you're trying to solve because you've seen people running into it?
I mean, it was just bothering me in that moment. But for sure, I mean, ideally, like, there's not stuff in the way all the time.
Yeah.
But it's just like a concession I had to make for some making certain movements like impossible.
Okay, what am I trying to do here? So either that box has to go from where it is over to this island, or these boxes have to go over. One of these boxes has to go over there. I assume it's probably the second one. So like I assume I have to get one of these two boxes over there. The way that I would do that, I'm not sure.
Yeah, if you can rotate the camera a bit just to like.
Gwen's too frustrated with the puzzle to rotate the camera.
Oh, rotate the camera?
She's not even listening.
I'll definitely also, yeah, obscure the stuff below the water some more. So that.
L. Getting this to feel right is going to be difficult too. It's orienting around the fire.
In that build, yeah. Last night I changed it to be around the actual center point of the level, because I still think, because like if it rotated around the player, it'd be strange because the panning isn't in sync with the player movement.
Yeah.
Right.
So in the overworld, it makes sense to rotate around the player, and it does. But
I don't think the zoom in and zoom out make much sense. I would have it cant up and down instead, because like it was a lot more easier. The more you can cheat the camera up, the more you can see the playable space. You know what I mean? Whereas zooming in and out, I don't feel like that's helping me much.
You just have 6 buttons rather than 4. Easy.
You could have what?
6 buttons, so you can zoom in, out, and pan up, down.
Yeah, so that would be scroll wheel to zoom in and out, as usual.
Yeah, I mean, really, what this game needs is full RTS camera controls.
No, is that gone now, or can I get that out somehow? Like, that might be the trick, right? Like, what if what I need to do is to... Ha! Bitches! Got it. I can play games. Interesting. Okay. Should we do one more? Or are we near the...
Oh, you're almost at the end. You probably have done enough puzzles now to get to the end.
Oh, you don't think I need to do this one? I could, though. How hard could it be, Alan? So that I can't really do much of.
Is actually once you solve this, I want to run a design decision past both of you. And past chat also.
And past the 20 people in the Twitch chat.
And the 4.
And the 4 good people on
Steam. Bless you.
Oh, we're up to 7 people on Steam now.
Oh,
so.
There you go. Okay. I wonder who's finding this on Steam. They have no idea what's going on. Well, hopefully they're looking to buy Bonfire Peaks by Corey Martin, an incredible video game about an individual who's burning his belongings. Very meditative. My shit's all broke, so you can't hear the really nice music, which is a shame. But...
Yeah, we didn't work out what was going on with the music, I guess.
I don't know. I think, honestly, at this point, I think what I had to do was restart OBS and I just didn't want to risk it. Like after we finally got
Fair.
everything working.
Uh-huh.
Oh. Okay, so here the challenge is just getting up at all, right? Um,
You can you can enjoy Kine without hearing the music, but it definitely impacts the experience.
yeah, ooh, I wanted to take a 5-minute break in between each one anyway, just to reset the app ID. Though it turns out I can do that live. We can just turn. I think we can flip this around pretty quickly. But um, just gonna keep doing the same thing over and over.
That is absolutely what you should do with puzzle games when you're stuck. What was the advice I gave for Cosmic Express? Work out what you can't do and then don't do it.
Yeah. That's the golden advice for every puzzle game. For sure, though, like, I don't know, I always am like, I'll see what I think is the path, and even though there are other things to try, I just like will bash my head against that because I want a specific solution, and then it'll be a different puzzle or it won't happen, and that's fine. Just like stop doing the same thing over and over.
There's something I'm just completely missing because there's only so many places I can go, and I feel like I've hit every possible spot.
So I guess I might as well just say the design decision that I'm questioning is whether or not to start the player on the bottom square.
I think you should. Why are you thinking? That's where you start right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very Steven Sausage Roll. Okay, got it.
So the thing is it's like by starting you there,
It makes it less obvious how important it is.
Yeah, whereas if you're starting a bit up above and then you have this suspicious space down below, it might be interesting to make the player think about that as opposed to having to do the very first move is the crucial one. I wonder if it's more interesting to not start down low.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I would be worried if you didn't start there, whether people would just kind of gloss over it. Could you add a second block to the left of that to give that area
What am I forgetting?
a slightly wider, more noticeable area?
Man, I feel like I figured out the trick and now
Or
I
would
just
that
want
break
to
the
have
puzzle?
one.
No, you only figured out trick 1 of X.
Okay. Alright, what's trick 2?
Yeah, there's that too, because it's a lone tile that it kind of looks underwater. Well, that'll be helped by darkening the stuff that actually is underwater also.
Or not making it, like, is there any reason that's green? It's a completely different color than everything else. It looks like it doesn't belong. Like, it looks more like do you see how every other tile is gray?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's just for color variety, I guess, but that could change. Do I have a favorite level from my other games? I don't know. The first thing I think of is like levels that make me cringe, which is probably like Clockwork in Pipebush Paradise. I really hate. But it's because of the nature of the game. I couldn't really change much about the world structure.
All right. There we go.
Is Clockwork that early level where you have to like go through all the like 4 states?
Yeah, there's just like it's kind of like picking a lock. It feels about as fun as that, and then it's like but when anyone solves it at the end, you're like, well, what did you have to do to solve that level? Like, no one can answer that question. You're like, oh well, I'd have to fiddle with it for half an hour again to tell you, and like that feels bad.
Sure.
Wait, is there one I didn't? I need another thingy. Oh, I got way more boxes over here. So many boxes.
Any commonalities or development techniques that I bring from one game to the next? Definitely there's common code. But in terms from I don't know, in terms of development techniques, yeah, just kind of building on the kind of like stack that I've put together to make just my editor a little bit better each time and stuff. But and I have like when designing levels, I'll like make giant playground levels filled with all kinds of stuff in the game, and then just fiddle around. That's been kind of how the last 2 games were mostly made, and that's I don't know, a nice way to kind of discover things about the system and figure out if the game's worth continuing to make. I'm really excited for people to see more of this game because this is the least exciting stuff in it. But that's how starts of games probably usually are.
God damn it. God damn it.
The payoff, though, is great.
The payoff is so fast you won't know what's hit you.
Yeah. Alan, like you said, it works in a at at PAX, it's fine because you can tell people what just happened.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, what? And I'm like, oh, you. Yeah, Jonathan Blow did love the payoff.
What? Fuck. Give me this fucking thing. Oh my god. Did it. What was the way I turned it? I have to turn this, right? Like I'm not. Sorry, Corey. I got like right to the end and then I'm stuck. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, it's your head doesn't. There's no head friction in this game. The box can sit on your head, but you can't carry it around that way. Unless it's also resting on a crate that you're holding. Then it's incidentally on your head.
What the fuck? Alright, yeah. And then rocks fall and you die.
See, you didn't even.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it happens so fast. Like if you were actually like trying to make it super clear what was happening, I think you need it to be like, okay, you step up, then there's a beat, then he looks down, then there's a beat, then you see the pressure plate activates, and then you zoom over to the spike trap, and then you see the spike trap or the arrow trap activate. But that's so much work, and it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Or like you
I don't
said,
know what happened.
had I used the trap, where there's a player interaction, at least involved.
See you later,
But yeah,
Jessica.
that was Bonfire Peaks by Corey Martin. Go and wishlist it, everyone.
Yeah, I dig it, man. Cool. It's
Please.
definitely come a long way. The art style is so different. It's beautiful.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's all not because of me. Now we've brought on some really talented artists that are helping to make the game a lot prettier. Like Mary Kalegi, who's known as Mad Maraca on a lot of platforms, does like these hyper detailed voxel art, kind of like architectural studies mostly, and yeah, she did all this new environment art and just really stepped things up. I'm excited about it.
It's awesome.
Tell the viewers when it comes out, when it's done. The release date is May 5th, 2020.
All right. So
Yeah, that was in one of the trailers, right?
It's not in the trailer, but it's
no,
on
it was going to be, and then I talked you out of it.
It's on a printed banner that was at PAX. But that's whatever. I mean, I could have released a version of the game then, and it'll just be better instead.
yeah, it's better to make something you're proud of. Have like a long list of games that you're proud of making that are worth doing. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what I think we should do is we're just gonna own the fact that everything's running half an hour late, and still take a 5-minute break. Go hit the restroom and get water. I'm gonna blast the AC. And then in 5 minutes, we'll be right back. And this time it'll be Corey Martin playing Kine for
Great.
an hour.
Catch you in a
All
bit.
right, see you guys in 5 minutes.